Hi guys, hope everyone's well. Just going to do a Q&A in the office. All questions answered, Royal Marines related, training related, anything like that. Hey Daniel mate, hope you're well bro. Yeah guys, fire away if you've got any questions about, hey Bug. Yeah, about Royal Marines, complete Commando, our weekends, anything like that, go far away. Just see how I... Nice to see you, bro. Why is the sky blue? Reflection of the water. Hello mate, long time listener, got my OSC in October and looking at joining the programme. Would I be able to do it alongside regular jiu-jitsu training? Cheers mate, love your content. Yes, the cool thing with our programmes is it's fully adaptable to what you're currently doing. So we've got a lot of lads who are in rugby teams and stuff like that, who they just message us and we'll just say, right, adapt this, change this if you need to, if you're feeling tight or whatever from training the night before, especially jiu-jitsu. I know it normally ends late as well. And especially when you're rolling, you know, niggles can come up all the time and that. We can just adapt it with you. And it's all specific to you and your needs. So if you use that code when signing up to, I don't know if that's the right way around, can't really tell. But if you use 50RM on our elite program, then you'll get that half price on the first month. And like I say, I'll be messaging you. You can message me anytime on the app if you need to adapt it, mate, and we can adapt it for you. Hi, mate. If I successfully join reserves, what are the chances of being requested to go away on ops? Or so if you join the reserves, it's almost voluntary. Obviously, if something kicks off majorly, like Russia or whatever, you'll be forced to go. But if there's no major conflicts, you're not going to be forced to go anywhere. It'll be deemed bad if you don't volunteer for exercise and stuff. However, people are busy, aren't they? You know, people who join the reserves have normally got full-time jobs. And so, yeah, if you're regulars, you haven't really got a choice. Whereas the great thing with reserves is it can play into your lifestyle a lot more, as long as you're a good egg, you know. How physically tough is the Prmc for officers? I just passed my Pgft, wasn't easy, now a bit worried. So it's not Prmc, it's OSC I think now, and it's tough, you know, you're going to get beasted. However, basically if you've done your Pgft, so obviously you've got to do 4 rounds an officer, that's sort of like your base layer, so they go, okay, he can do that, so he's at that sort of like, he's got the potential to pass this, that's why they're inviting you. If they didn't think you had the potential, they wouldn't even bother sending you out a train ticket because they're not going to waste their money. Just train super hard up until you've got it. I'm not sure when yours will be, but I always think of it as this. So physically, you've got to be obviously very fit, but it's mentally, it's about the mental fitness, mental resilience. How much do you want it? Up until now, until you go, maybe 5 days out, just train your absolute butt off. Loads of interval stuff, hill sprints, bodyweight stuff. Train like a man on a mission, and you're going to be fine when you get there. And I always think of this as well. This is my little saying to myself. What one man can do, another man can do. So if someone else has achieved it, I know I can achieve it. It means it's achievable. But obviously you join the elite as an officer, so it's going to be tough as well. Is there an extra need to train with ropes, climbing them beforehand? So I never did. 90% of lads won't have touched the rope. On our complete weekends, we teach all our members how to rope climb. So if you are nervous from that rope element, which is a massive element of training, then have a look at our complete weekends. But no, if you've never done it, then obviously they're used to lads coming who have never done it. If you can do it with correct Royal Marines technique, you're miles ahead of the lads, of lads joining. So, but there's a few incorrect techniques that you'll get beasted for using. So make sure you are training the correct technique. I've got a YouTube video on it as well, so you can check that out. And if you've got a rope available, then crack on. Hey bro, hope you're well, mate. Did you take supplements, protein shakes, vitamins to help your training and serving the Royal Marines? So going through Royal Marines training, you're not allowed to take any supplements. I think they issue you some like protein shakes after hard training sessions now, which is great. Obviously the food they're giving you should have a lot of protein. Make sure you're choosing protein high food. In my opinion, they should give you vitamins. I don't think you are allowed to take them. Potentially you might be allowed to. And I would always take creatine, but right now they're not accepting that you're allowed creatine as a recruit. However, if you're joining, use creatine up until the day you leave. It's going to massively help your training. It's the most researched supplement going, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic for you. Yeah, so get on the creatine if you can. And obviously high protein, we're looking at 1 gram per pound of body weight minimum per day. If you want to know more about nutrition, just message me on Instagram as well. Hi, do you know the scores for the second day of ROP for the Rmfa? I have them somewhere. I've got a document with it. Message me on Instagram, bro, and I will dig that info out for you. I don't know it off the top of my head, but we do have it. Yeah, I've definitely got a document on it, bro. Got my Pgft in 2 weeks, just about scraping through when I practice it. Any semi last minute tips? What's your weakness in the Pgft? If it's your plank, nail your plank. If it's your press ups, nail your press ups. If it's everything, nail everything. But break the movements down individually. So if I, for instance, hypothetically say press ups and sit ups my weakness, I'd go, right, I'm going to spend 20 minutes on my press ups, 20 minutes on my sit ups, and I'm going to do that 3 or 4 days a week on top of what I'm already doing. So when you identify that weakness, absolutely attack it. You can do like different. I've got an Instagram post on working on your press ups and that applies for your sit ups as well. But yeah, just whatever your weakness is, absolutely nail that daily. And yeah, so what I was just practicing a few years ago, I think first lockdown, I was like, right, bleep test. How much can I improve my bleep test in 2 months? And I went up, I think my first bleep test was like high 12s, and I finished like early 15s or late 14s within a couple of months. And that was just all I committed to, was like, I'm going to do bleep test every 3 or 4 days. And that's all I did. I did bleep tests. So I just did specific work to what I wanted to improve. So yeah, we can overcomplicate it as coaches, but ultimately, if you need to improve your press ups, you just got to do press ups. Cheers, mate. Seeing a previous message, you mentioned the reserve training going part time again. Yep. Will this training look like? Will it be every weekend for the entire year? No, not every weekend, but it will be. It will require a lot out of your time and most your weekends. And then there's 2 weeks at the end of phase 1. And then 2 weeks at the end of phase 2, and you also need to go down to Libsyn for a couple of weekends as well. So it's going to basically, you're going to write your weekends off for pretty much a year, bro. And then depending on what your local debt night is, you're going to be doing that as well. So say for instance in Merseyside, it's Tuesdays. Almost most Tuesdays, you're going to be required to be down at the debt, apart from through Easter, summer, and Christmas. However, they might even want you in for some extra sessions. What was your role when you were in the Royal Marines? So just general duties. Got pinged to do drive quals and stuff as well. But yeah, and then out as a reservist, general duties as well. I do probably need to look at spec, but just so busy with business and PTing and stuff that sort of just on the backdrop at the moment. But yeah. Do officers do their basic training with the regular recruits lads at Libsyn, or are they trained separate? So it's I think I'm right in saying it's the only military in the world where officers and junior ranks train at the same base. But you don't train together. However, I remember doing regains alongside the officers, like the officers were on the regain ropes alongside us and stuff. So you do see them getting thrashed, and they see you getting thrashed as well. So you're on the same camp, which is quite small. Libsyn's quite a small camp, so yeah, you get to see them. Have you had injuries that held you back from training? Yeah, man, definitely. I got injured in Royal Marines training. I got severe injury through deadlifts a couple of years ago. Got a bit of a knee issue right now that I'm just rehabbing. But you've got to improvise, adapt, overcome, work around those injuries, and also ultimately work out why you're getting those injuries. So why am I getting knee pain? Well, maybe it's from tight hips, weak glutes, you know. And so I work on that, and I go, right, let's put a rehab program together. Okay, yeah, this is helping, or no, this isn't helping. Let's look at another reason. For instance, bit of a niggly shoulder at the moment for Olympic lifting. Why is that? Tight lats. Is it on the same side as my knee? Yes. Okay, let's have a look at the hips. Boom. So yeah, if you need help with that, just message. Hello mate, any tips on pull-ups and how much swimming should I be doing? Not ready to join yet, but getting there. So I just swim once or twice a week. Depends how crap you are. If you can't swim at all, then definitely get a swimming coach. If you're bang average like me, just make sure you're getting in the pool. Maybe get 1 or 2 lessons and just learn how to breathe and relax in the pool. But yeah, once or twice a week sound. And then not really pull-ups. Yeah, I've got a pull-up video on YouTube if you check out on the channel. And then in the description of that YouTube video is a free 4-week pull-up program. So you can crack that, and then if you crack that and you like the programming, then you can jump on our elite program with 50 RM is the code for 50% off the first month. James, something CC has a free. Yeah, there you go. Boom. Accommodation. Expand on that, Leon. What do you mean? Hey mate, have I missed your comment? No, I don't know what you mean by that, bro. Hey man, have you ever suffered from a disc bulge? And if so, how did you recover? I haven't. I've never had a disc bulge. I'm just trying to think what the rehab on that is. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I'd have to do some research on that, bro. If you message me on Instagram, I'll do some research on that. Touch base with. I'm not a physio, so I can do like minor rehab and stuff. But things like disc bulge probably out of my remit. But I've got good friends around me who are very good physios and stuff. So if you do message me, then I'll put you in touch with someone who's like on it. We only use trusted coaches with Complete Commando as well. What does a regular month look like when you are in the reserves? Like how many days or weekends are you attending? So again, it really depends. I did a reserves video yesterday, I think, so you can check that out. That's got like almost everything you need to know for reserves. I think the title was everything you need to know, but it's almost everything you need to know. And right now, because I'm in a really busy period with business, and obviously I'm getting the complete weekends ready for our Royal Marines prep weekend in October. And we're quite busy with the programming and the messaging and the members. I'm just off reserves at the moment, so I'll probably go in maybe a couple of weeks. But as long as you let the boss know, you can just say, look, next 3 months is a bit of a write-off with my business. And they'll be like, yeah, no worries, just get back in when you can. And then in the periods that you can commit, then yeah, you just go for it and show you're a good egg and show you're involved. But yeah, to be honest, the last couple of years I've been in and out with reserves. When I first left full time, I was heavily involved for that first year in the reserves, pretty much still full time. But yeah, just with business, and I've got kids and stuff like that, it's quite hard to commit, but they're understanding, everyone's in the same boat. That's why you're part-time. If dislocated my finger in the past, but it's fully healed, will I pass medical test? Hopefully, mate. Yeah, they're expecting, like, the people they're going after are people who have done good level sports, have been injured, been fighting, been, like this, that and the other. So they're going to expect you to have had injuries like that. As long as it's a fully functional finger, triple F, you'd be sound, mate. You should be sound. Obviously, you'll have to do your medical, but I would say you'd be fine. My summer holidays is nearly finished and I get my GCSE results tomorrow. Nervous times. And I'm in the process of application. Should I wait till I get in, or should I go to college, sixth form? I'm a bit old school. I'd always say try and get as quelled up as possible before joining. So if you're umming and ahhing about A-levels, go and do your A-levels. If you're umming and ahhing about uni, go and do your uni. You know, you can always do the Royal Marines after. But 16 is quite young to join. I probably wouldn't have been ready. In fact, yeah, just being honest, I definitely wouldn't be ready when I was 16. I was only just about ready at 19. So again, it depends on you. We had a lad on our last weekend who was just 16. Unbelievable lad. And I'll be like, yeah, go and join training. Like you're good to go. But just be aware that if you've gone straight from like school into the Royal Marines, so you've gone from education institutional to like military institution, when you come out in say 10 years, you might struggle in civvy street. So I'd always say like maybe get a little bit of life experience beforehand, if you can. However, if you feel like you're ready and you're mature enough and that, mate, crack on. Did you ever think about selection while you're on active duty? Yeah, so I think if you've joined the Royal Marines, I think almost every lad has thought about selection. My sort of unwritten rule is like, I don't sit here and talk about like, yeah, I was going to do it and I should have done it and this, that and the other, because like ultimately I didn't do it. And I only like to talk from experience of the things I've done, rather than being one of these blokes who's like, yeah, if it wasn't for politics, I would have gone SF. But definitely thought about it. I think maybe if I'd stayed in a little bit longer, full time, maybe if I'd done another 2 years, I would have potentially given it a go. Even to this day, it's still like, oh, you know, I'd still fancy a crack at it, but didn't do it. So can't really gob off about it, to be honest. But it's not unachievable. You know, I know lads who, very good lads, diligent lads, but they're not superheroes by any stretch of the imagination. Very good friend of mine, Special Forces, and don't get me wrong, they're the best soldiers going. But he just said it's all about how much you want it. So ultimately, did I want it enough? Probably not. You've got to dedicate a good year to just training like a madman specifically for that. And I enjoyed football, I enjoyed boxing, I enjoyed judo, and all these other things. That I enjoyed my civvy life as well. So yeah, probably didn't want it enough, to be honest. Definitely didn't, because I didn't do it, didn't try it. How do Royal Marines go about doing their specialisations? Jungle, warfare, mountain leaders, do they sign up for the courses whenever they want or wait for the OC to offer them? Yeah, so things like mountain leader, you've sort of got to be in line with promotion, PTIs, yeah, like a lot of the good specialisations, you need to have done a few years, prove you're a good lad, be sort of like in line with promotion before you can do them. Some specialisations you can do straight out of training. So things like SIGs and drives and, you know, the things that lads probably don't really want to be doing. But some of the, you know, things like MLs and stuff where you're going to be basically going into a corporal's role, you need to have done a few years and be like an experienced lad. Do you need to be a British citizen to join the Royal Marines? So you just need to be part of the Commonwealth, I think. So you could be like South African, like from New Zealand, Australia, I think. Like, you know, like I think there's Canadian. As long as you're part of the Commonwealth, I think you can join the Royal Marines, dude. It's Liverpool Central Station for complete weekend? Yeah, Liverpool Lime Street, I think. You're going to get a message if you haven't got one today. You'll get one tomorrow from our compliance manager, and she'll go through stuff like that, mate. But I think Liverpool Lime Street. Yeah, I'll give you a definite answer tomorrow on that, mate, for the complete weekend. Looking forward to seeing you as well, bro. Got an amazing weekend lined up for you. Thanks for answering my question. No probs. Do you lose your rank if you go for SF selection and fail? No, I don't think you do. I think officers actually, Something like that happens with officers. I can't remember what it is. No, you can. If you're an officer, you can join SF and go and not be an officer in special forces. You can go for. You can basically be like a corporal instead. But I don't think you lose your rank if you go for it. What did you do your very first day down? Sorry, where are we? What did you do on your very first day down in Libsyn doing your training? So ours was the old school system where it's like the Prmc and then you go and then it's shop or capture, and basically 2 weeks of just how many lads can they get rid of. So we got marched onto camp, obviously your rabbit in headlights, get your hair cut, you're in your foundation block. We got a kit issue, I think we got a kit issue that very day that we joined. And then we had a kit inspection. They go through all how you look after your kit, how you make your bed, how you shower and stuff. And then yeah, and then basically it's like, right, kit inspection the next day, and it's just like boom, 100 mile an hour. Bit different now because they've got ROP, so it's like 4 weeks where they gradually build you in, so it's a little bit different. But ours was literally like, right, how many lads can they get rid of in the first couple of weeks? So it was just literally straight into the firing pot. Did you have a missus when you were a training or an Afghan? How did you cope with it? No, I was single. No, so I was dating a girl in training, but it was just like a bit crap. So it didn't really like massively affect me. But Afghan, I was single, which is the best way to be. I would say, lads, if you can join single, it's the best way. Obviously, if you're married, then you're married, and for me, marriage is for life. But if you've got a girlfriend, then it's a bit rocky or whatever, then you're going to struggle. So you've got to have a partner behind you who's absolutely solid and like raring for you to join, because it's very hard. And when you're going through tough times, the last thing you need in your ear is like someone saying like, I miss you, come home, and you know, being grumpy because you haven't messaged them because you've been away for like a week or whatever. So yeah, it's tough. It can be tough if you've got a missus or whatever. Doable though, lads do it, lads get through it. As long as the girlfriend's aware. I've got another video like something about like your family. So it's a video for your family and your girlfriends and stuff to watch on the channel, so they can sort of see what they get themselves into. How would you organise a week tailoring towards fizz in the core? How would you organise a week tailoring towards? Can you just elaborate on what you mean by that, mate? Sorry. And I will answer as best as I can. How did you build your own personal mental resilience? So I was really blessed because I was playing football at a pretty good standard up until 18. Didn't work out for me, and then at 18 I sort of fell out of love with football and I went, right, I'm going to box. And so I started going to a local boxing club, and like the circuits were insane, very, very hard, and I put everything into it. I was training 6 times a week, sometimes twice a day, hill sprints, running, kettlebell circuits, getting thrashed. And if I hadn't gone to that boxing gym, I would never have had that same mindset for training. So I went into my Prmc, and you know, I can freaking sit here and say anything, could I? But I got best recruit on my Prmc because I won the mile and a half, and I was winning all the fizz stuff. I've said this before. I was really fit, but crap at admin and stuff. So like, I don't sit here and think I'm a legend. But yeah, and it was literally just from that boxing gym. So how do you create strong mindset? I'd say put yourself in the pain cave, and that can be physically, that can be business, that can be job. That can be going out camping and you know, living in a rough environment. I think this day and age, we always try and make our life so easy. We want the best cars, we want the best house, we want loads of money in the bank with minimal work, and these things breed weak mindsets, and we're seeing it all around in our society. People are just so much weaker and less resilient than they used to be. So get yourself in the pain cave, physically, yeah, push yourself, get into harsh environments, go and take a tent out on the weekend and just live off the land, whatever you can do. Like, sounds a bit Chad, but that's how you get a strong mindset, is by putting yourself in tough positions and getting through them. Ultimately, that's what the Marines is all about. Our weekends, mate, they'll help with that as well. How does CPC work if you live out of England, but in the UK? I assume that you just fly in and then do it. Yeah, you go down to Libsyn. You go down to Libsyn. Everyone's got to fly into Libsyn. They'll probably fly you into Bristol, and then maybe train from Bristol to Libsyn, something like that. But yeah, everyone goes to CPC at Libsyn, non-negotiable. 15 years old, not very fit, but discovered the Royal Marines and like the look of it. Do you think I can get fit enough in the next few years? Yeah, if you put your mind to it, you've got to go like single-minded approach though. Like right now, you're not fit, in your words, and to be an elite soldier, you've got to be super fit. So you go, right, this is my goal. Here's my plan to get to that goal. Now I stick to this plan regardless. You're going to have times when you're not motivated, and that's when you've got to be really disciplined. It's all about being disciplined. It's all, lads, the secret to elite performance is discipline, consistency over a long period of time. And it's just, and that's how simple it is. It's freaking boring because it's just monotonous, but that's how you get good at anything. There's no secret like magic 12-week program. If you do a 12-week program, anyone can do anything for 12 weeks. It's about consistency over a long period of time, guys. And that's how you build up your fitness. But yeah, man, you could get so fit in 2 years. Do you offer any complete Commando courses near or in London? So we're saying for this next weekend in October, get to Liverpool. So it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours on the train from London to Liverpool. And then we pick you up from Liverpool and we'll take you into deep dark Wales for the weekend. 4 Royal Marine instructors, one's a Royal Marine sniper, and we get you ready for the Royal Marines. But right now we're just doing it in the northwest, but we've made it as accessible as we possible. So we're saying pickup is in Liverpool, which is pretty easy to get to. I saw you in the drill shed at CTC. Cool, bro. Yeah, we're doing a world record last month. So yeah, it was good to see some of the recruits came up and introduced themselves, and some of the lads have been on the programs and stuff. That was really cool. Nice to be back at Libsyn, but I'll be back there on I think the 10th of September for Families Day. So if you're around, come down and say hi. Lost 2 kilos in 2 weeks. I'm now 78 kilos. Great, mate. Love that. 2 kilos in 2 weeks, 1 kilo a week. Yeah, probably on the far side. Some of that's going to be water. So if your calories are really low, maybe just start gradually picking your calories up, because it's going to start messing with your performance. So gradually pick your calories up, get some high protein in, mate, but happy days. It's come back from Shorley, even saw you in the drill shed. I think he was doing a workout, something like charity event. Yeah, so it was a world record sled push for 24 hours for the Royal Marines charity. All thanks to you, I guess. Body worth 10 times 10. Happy days, bro. Oh, great. That's cool, man. Love that, mate. Well done. Hey, mate, forgot to ask earlier. I'm thinking of doing your elite program in the morning and then afterward. Yeah, you can do that. So the elite program will incorporate the pull-ups and stuff, but you can definitely do that. The elite program's got running, bodyweight workouts, dumbbell stuff, compound lifting, everything specific to you as well. So in week 1, you do your test week, and then off those tests, the program becomes individualized to you. So it's unreal, if I do say so myself. And then, yeah, you can do your pull-ups if you feel like on top of it you need that extra pull-up work. Then obviously you've got that free program there as well. If you use 50 RM, that will get you 50% off the first month on the elite as well. So that's brilliant, man. I've started boxing twice a week. Yeah, mate, I'm a big advocate of boxing. I love boxing. How would you split up workouts and runs throughout the week? Okay, weights 3 to 4 times a week. Yeah, so I would say 2 running interval sessions a week, I would say, where you're hitting like anywhere between 200 meters and a K, and you're doing intervals with good rest in between them, because people get hecked up on high distances for Royal Marines, but especially at the start of Royal Marines training, a lot of it's lower distances, like 800 metre camp circuits, max effort. So I'd do that, and then I'd maybe incorporate like one longer run in a week, or maybe two at a push. But just be aware of, if you're not used to running, then you're obviously going to have lower limb injuries. That is the most common injury in Royal Marines training. Is stress, shin splints and stress fractures in. So be aware of that. And then I would look to do 2 squat sessions a week. I'd say it's a big one. And I'd go hex deadlifts. So I wouldn't go compound deadlifts unless you're absolute legend like deadlifting. I'd just say in terms of risk v reward, it's not worth it. And then I'll do probably 3 to 4 bodyweight workouts a week, focused around sort of like the Pgft stuff. And then I'll do some prehab stuff, hamstring work, lower limb stuff, like sort of like knees over toes stuff as well. And yeah, a bit of like dumbbell WOD stuff, like two or three WODs a week. And that's gonna hold you, that's gonna put you in a really good position for training, because I think traditionally lads have come in, done loads of long distance running, but aren't strong enough to carry big heavy burgans, and other people come in bodybuilders and they can't run a mile. So you're finding that balance, which is super important. So I'd always say squats is a #1 movement that everyone should be doing, if you can, or you can do a derivative of squats. Because if I said my if my 1 rep max squat was 100 kilos, that 100-pound burden is going to feel heavy. Whereas if I've got a 150 1 rep max squat, then obviously all of a sudden that burden becomes lighter. So I'm looking to have a heavy squat. It doesn't have to be like 200 kilo, but if I can make my squat nice and heavy, all of a sudden that burden don't feel so heavy when I've got it on my back. And also all the other muscles around it that support the squat, not just glutes, quads, hammies, are gonna get stronger. My back's gonna be stronger. So when I'm carrying that burden, which is where a lot of people fall down in Royal Marines, you're gonna be a lot stronger. Hope that helps. Probably rambled on quite a bit there, but yeah, hopefully it helps. I'm 5'10", 70 kilo, fairly slim. Yeah, pretty slim there. Past Pgft, good with body weight exercise, but not weights. My Pgft instructs. Yeah, so good weight for you. I'd say probably you're looking at minimum 75 kilo, mate, if you can get that. But that, you want that to be muscle weight. You don't want to just put loads of fat on. So a quick sum for you would be work out your body weight in pounds. So say you're 180, something like that, times about 15 to 16. And that's roughly going to be your calories. You can work that out. So if you're still not gaining weight after a couple of weeks, add 150, 200 calories on that a day, and make sure you're hitting 1 gram per pound of body weight per day. And then that's going to incorporate weight training. You can jump on a program if you want, and that's really going to give you that strength for recruit training. Because like I said there, the moment that burden gets put on you, a lot of lads crumble. So you could go and run a mile and a half in 7 minutes, but if you can't carry a burden, then it's not going to be helpful for Royal Marines training. Again, if you want a bit more free advice on that, mate, just message me on Instagram. I'm always happy to help lads, free of charge as well, of course. Cheers for the answer. Funnily enough, I'll be wild camping in Brecon. Happy days, mate. That's how you build resilience. How long does foundation accommodation compare to small? How does it's horrible. 60 lads, 65 lads in a room. The normal accommodation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 to 8 in a room, 6 to 7 in a room, because there's one bunk there normally. But yeah, so you've got 60 lads, and then all of a sudden you've got 8 lads in a room. So normal comms are much better, and you can hide a bit better as well. I've been training for 2 years and I can do Pgft. Is that good since I'm only 16? Very good, mate. Yeah, keep going, mate. Work hard, and you're well on your way. How long does the application process take? I think our lads on the program's taking maybe like anywhere between 9 months to a year roughly at the moment, and it can fluctuate quite a bit. 25 looking to join up, however I think I've missed age cap to join as an officer. Would you recommend Sandho instead? You can apply at 25, double check that. Obviously 25 is the cut-off. I see your name's Captain as well there. But Sandhurst is a great option. Like I'm all for. Listen, like with the Royal Marines, it's quite insular, it's quite closed off, and we often think everyone else is crap apart from us. It's very good lads in the army, very good lads in the navy, very good lads in the RAF. There's crap people in every service, but Sandhurst obviously renowned for producing some of the best officers in the world. So yeah, Sandhurst is great, mate. Go for it. My legs are so shattered generally I can't walk properly with the amount of attempts cardio I did boxing yesterday. I have a session tomorrow. Really nervous, don't want my legs to hurt. Increase your protein, increase your sleep, have recovery days. You don't need to train every single day. Make sure you're doing mobility and stretching, and you can incorporate some squats when you're feeling better to improve that leg strength. With boxing, leg strength goes an awful long way. Normally they'll just, like traditional boxing clubs will get you running loads of miles, doing loads of like burpees and stuff like that, but actually incorporating leg strength into boxing is going to help your, not only is it going to increase your your punching ability and your punching power, which is like your punches come from your legs, but also when you get rocked and when you get into those latter rounds, having that leg strength there, having your legs underneath you still is so vital when you're basically hanging out. That third round and you're in that last minute of that third round, if you've got the leg strength, it helps so much. Hey Royal, just stumbled across this while scrolling on the form boot neck. Just got back into decent fizz after basically a 10-year gap. Good shout getting lads pre-ready. Oh, thank you Lee, mate. Well, yeah, thanks for serving. Obviously, mate, that was a busy, kinetic time between those times, and appreciate the feedback, mate. Well done for getting back into your fizz, buds. Obviously, boot necks, we can go off, but we always come back to our fizz. So yeah, good effort for smashing that again, mate, and thank you very much for the the motivation, mate. Appreciate that. Lads, within the Royal Marines as well, like very much a brotherhood. You know, if you don't know a boot neck and then you meet and you realise you're both boot necks, you automatically basically brothers and that. You know, like obviously there's a few bad eggs, but predominantly if I go somewhere and I know someone's a boot neck, I'll always make an effort to go and say hi to them and that, because you know we've been through the same sort of stuff. So yeah, it's very important that we keep that element up as well when you join. Thanks for coming out. Love what you're doing here. Cheers, bro. Appreciate that. How much you'd be able to run and in what time before joining the Royal Marines? So in my Prmc, I got a 8:14 mile and a half. Sorry, is that what you're asking? How much? Sorry, okay. Basically, mile and a half. You should be looking at. I always say try and get under 9 minutes if you can. Obviously, I think average time is probably about 9:30, something like that. But if you can make your running as good as possible, it just means thrashings and fizz is easier, and you can do anything you can to make Libsyn easier because it's already horrendous. So just get that down. 5k, anything under 20 minutes, and you're loving life. And I'd say, yeah, if you can run 6 minutes, if you can run 6 miles at, let me work it out. Yeah, like 7-minute mile pace is great. Even 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes is still fine. Is there a specific date for the Pgft? So I have another year of college left. You can't book a specific date, I don't think, but obviously you can say you've got college, and I think they can work roughly around that. Some lad the other day messaged saying he'd done his Pgft. I think he said he did it on a Sunday, so you should be able to just work it around that, mate. But the CPCs, which they're called now, they're done like I think Monday to Wednesdays, and they're set days, so you'd have to take time off college for that. Is being able to complete a Pgft a good indicator of fitness for training? Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, but obviously you've got to have you running on top of that as well, and be relatively strong. But yeah, that's that sort of like base level. They go, if you can pass your Pgft, then they're a potential candidate, and that's why that test is there basically. Yeah, mate, 1720. I don't know how much you weigh. I can't remember if you put it, but that's really low. That's like, there's only some females I put on those calories. So But obviously, if you're looking to drop weight for boxing, like if you're fighting at 75 kilo, for instance, unfortunately that's part and parcel of boxing. But yeah, that's quite low calories, mate. Is strength more important than cardio at the start of going into training? I'd say if you had to have one over the other, probably cardio first. But you're not going to get anywhere without strength. So, that you don't need one or the other. You can obviously have both with smart programming, like Complete Commando. Me and my mate are off to do 3 Peaks in Yorkshire dates. Any tips to smash the time? Don't go out too fast on the first mountain because you'll crumble on the third. So keep a good pace on the first couple, and then boom, that last one, max effort. What can you get up to the last one? Into my football and captain my county side for 3 years. Awesome. So not quite a military captain, but hopefully one day. Happy days, mate. Yeah, well, obviously you've got leadership principles there. County footballers, if you're leading any county, regardless of county, you're going to be a very good standard. So whatever you're doing on the pitch and however you organise your lads there, just think of that, putting that into any setting really, and using your experience as a captain in football and trying to use that and being a leader, being a team player. I think the most important thing for any leader is that they lead by example, and lads will follow. Can height affect performance in basic? Too much or too little is obviously going to be a hindrance. If you're too tall, pull-ups and press-ups and anything where limb length is affected, it's going to be harder to do. If you're too small, things like yomping, speed marches are going to be hard. I'm a bit of a midget. I'm like just under 5'8", and sort of was fine. Maybe speed march is quite hard to be in step, but other than that, it didn't massively affect me. Yeah, good advice there by DB. Team looking after each other, love it. If I train boxing on Tuesday and Thursday, what days should I run? Drew runs a week while trying to run. Yeah, 3 times a week, mate. It's absolutely sound. 80 kilos, 78 now. Yeah, so I would do times 12 for the lower end of dropping weight. So if you want to drop weight quick, I'd do 172 times 12. Times 10 I would only do if you're like a couple of weeks out from a fight and you need to get that last like 1 or 2 kilos off, because that is light, that is low calories. Buying program, which one should I purchase? I just want to be ready for when I start my 9 months training. So if you've got a fully equipped gym, you can do the elite one. If you haven't, you just want to do body weight and running, then the entry one. So the entry one's $9.99 a month, really cheap, really accessible. And then the elite one's $19.99 a month, but discount code for the first month is 50RM, and that gives you 50% off. So yeah, basically it's based off that. If you've got a fully functional gym, go on the elite. If you haven't, then do the body weight and running. I'm only doing body weight or very light weights at home with workouts. This mistake on the strength side of joining Marines. It's a good base to have. I'd always start that way. That's how I started. But you do need to get some strength training. A good thing, you don't need to go and get a big expensive gym membership. You can get a backpack, fill it with loads of crap, start doing some heavy walks, and you can do squats with it. So say for instance, you can get loads of beans, like I'm just thinking of a practical way of doing this without spending tons of money. Loads of baked beans, cans, chuck it in a big bag, your mum's iron or your dad's iron or whatever, put it in a bag and you can do squats with that. You don't need to go and spend 50 quid a month at a gym. Just any sort of like compound lifting that you can add on top of that stuff is going to really benefit. Things like squats and that. I never squatted before I joined, and I think that was a massive hindrance when it came to yomping. I'd always advise that now, so I get my big fat finger out. Right, where are we at? Hey, I got PMU letter from the medical and I'm busy with the appeal process. Is there any first-hand experience or advice you would give? First of all, sorry to hear that, but actually a lot of PMUs do get overturned more than you believe, so just give as much evidence that you're a fit lad as possible. You just got to think that they're trying to get perfect people into the Royal Marines, so they need to make sure they're not taking a chance on your medical, because they're going to spend thousands on getting you ready. So give them as much evidence as you can alongside, because if you don't have a hex bar, then I'd do it. I'd do it as an alternative, but I would always say, for me, gold standard would be RDLs alongside hex bar deadlifts. RDLs are good. You're never going to be able to lift the same amount as you can, so you're never going to get the same load through. And obviously, it's much more targeted to your hamstrings, but obviously very good for your posterior chain. But I wouldn't ever do it as an alternative personally. If you don't have a choice, then you can as well, but I'd always put the two together if possible. Another thing as well is hand power cleans are great. Again, a technical movement, so if you are going to do them, then I'd get a coach on board, or even hand pulls, hand clean pulls stuff, but anything's better than nothing. So if you can only do RDLs, for instance, if you've only got dumbbells, then RDLs are great as well. That was a really poor answer, sorry, I sort of went around in circles there. What weight were you when you started? I'm just under 5'8" as well. So I was boxing at the time. I boxed at 64 kilo, and I was walking around at, I think I joined Libsyn at 70 kilos, so I was light. But within 3 months, I was 81 kilo, and then I sort of stayed at 81 kilo to almost this day. I'm probably a little bit over at the moment. I'm probably about 84, no, in fact, 84 and a half yesterday, but I'm just dropping a little bit because 81 is probably like my optimal weight. But I'm quite stocky for the height, if that means. I'm basically, if you know what a chode is, I'm basically a chode. Thanks for answering. To bulk from 70 to 75, what some key weight exercise I should do? Compound exercise is always good. But it's more about your nutrition as well. So I'd say squats, hex bar deadlifts, strict press potentially, bench press is always good. It's good for the girl. Arms, chest, forget the rest. But yeah, it's about your calories. So 70. So if you're doing good workouts at 70 kilo and you want to get to 75, say within 3 or 4 months, you're probably looking about 2.8 calories, something like that. And then you can test and adjust. Obviously that's without me doing the calculations correctly. And then you test and adjust, so every couple of weeks, just like test and adjust. If you're gaining weight too quickly, we don't want to elicit fat gain. We don't want to gain fat, we want to gain solid muscle and solid tissue, so you can drop down. But if you're not gaining quick enough, then you obviously drop weight down as well. Drop your calories down as well. So if you're not gaining weight quick enough, you increase your calories. If you're gaining it too quick, you drop your calories. Have you ever called your section corporal dad? No. Someone did though, I think. I got a bit cocky once and was like asking him about his missus. It wasn't great. He didn't have too much issues, but my report that week was like, Recruit Logan is getting a bit cocky. So I was like, okay, I'll wind my neck in a little bit. But yeah. Is diet important for getting to an elite level of fitness, and does it have to be 100% clean? Diet is freaking massive. Massive. 100% clean? No, if you can, like if you can basically eat Whole30, what I'd say, yeah, absolute optimal. But you've got to think what's sustainable. So so the problem I see all the time is, right, that's it, no more chocolate, no more sweets, no more sugar, that's it, I'm on it now. And you'll see guys do that for 10 days and then they crumble, have a meltdown, pizzas, chocolate, everything, and then before you know it, they've put more weight on and they're even worse off, and then they think like, oh, I've ruined it. So I'd always look like what's as optimal as you can, but you can keep up. So for instance, I'll have I'll have 2 small crunchies every day because I like chocolate, and if I didn't have a bit of chocolate every day, I'd probably crumble and just go on a binge after about 5 days. That's just personally me, but I'd always say like, what's sustainable? So whatever you can do that's sustainable and still get good nutrition in, that's what we're looking for. Passed medical and Pgft and started holding troop, then postponed training. Now I'm too old, can't get an age waiver. What? Yeah, mate, I'd have peeled the crap out of that. Basically, that they've put your career, everything has been put on hold for you, and oh mate, I'd appeal that massively. I'd speak to solicitors as well on that. I'm planning on starting mechanised infantry at 18 and building up and becoming a fitter person, join the RM. Yep, best luck to you, bro. Sounds cool. What's your opinion on paying the RM as a civilian? It seems decent to be considering the subsidised rent, food, free gym, sports travel, no council tax, deployment bonus, discounted job, security. Yeah, if you're away in Afghan getting shot at, 21 grand a year plus bonuses isn't great. However, most of the time it's pretty good. In terms of deployment bonus, that isn't actually a bonus, that's just your tax back for being out of the country for 6 months. No one tells you that. Basically, if you work 6 months out of the country a year, you get your tax back. So they'll call it an ops bonus, it's just your tax back. But when you put it like that, yeah, it's good. You're probably pulling home 2.5 grand maybe. But then you are being asked to potentially put your life on the line. Whereas, say, you know, let's say a train driver, for instance, they're on 40, 50 grand a year, minimal risk, and yeah, long hours, I guess. But you know, when you weigh it up that way, you're like, not sure. I think always pay soldiers more, but obviously that's because I am a soldier. I think it's, yeah, I think going back to it, it's probably good day to day. However, when you're in a war zone and you've seen your mates get blown up and shot and killed and you know, lose limbs and stuff, all of a sudden that 21 to 25, 30 grand isn't enough, if that makes sense. What made you choose, but ultimately we chose it, so sorry in fault. What made you choose Royal Marines over Paras? What do you think is the better equipment? My dad and brother both said, and I agree with them, that the Royal Marines were the best, hardest training. I had a mate in training who was a Royal Marine and Para, and he said that Royal Marines training was harder. I had a mate who I was at school with, went Royal Marines, failed week 12, and then joined the Paras and passed out. So for me, I was like, well, look, Royal Marines seems the hardest, so I wanted to give myself that challenge. And yeah, I'm glad I did. Right, I'm getting lost here. Cheers for the answers. I'm more of a schlong than a chode. Yeah, I'm not one of them. What was your favourite part in Royal Marines training? Passing out, getting that green beret, going over the bridge at the end, and feeling the weight of the world just fall off your shoulders. Bottom field's great as well. I mean, I have access to gym, but I'm not sure about the intensity. If in one workout I'm doing squats, RDLs, or deadlifting, would you recommend doing that all in one workout or splitting it up? I'd say you can do it all in one workout as long as because you can change the intensity by changing the weight, the speed, the rest times, the reps. So yeah, like there's lots of different factors you can change to get those in. If you're going max out on all three of them, that's not optimal, but you can definitely do all of those in one session as long as you're being programmed correctly. Hey, how are you, bro? Original Human, amazing gaming channel. Check it out, guys. Former Royal Marine as well. Really good insights to the Royal Marines, and now does gaming and talks from a Royal Marines perspective. Yeah, doing well, thank you, bro. And hope you and your missus and your little one are doing well as well in America. I saw that you're potentially moving back here. My opinion is stay in America, to be honest. But yeah, good to hear from you, mate. How many reps did you get in your Prmc, push-ups, sit-ups and pull-ups? Right, I think off the top of my head, I've maxed out my press-ups. Close to maxing out my sit-ups, I think. Maybe maxed them out, I can't remember. Or I have maxed them out or as close to maxing out, and then pull-ups, I think I hit 12, something like that. But you're talking, mate, 2009. 13 years ago. But definitely maxed my press ups out. I think after my Prmc as well, I maxed all of them out in training and would just continue to do that probably to this day. Well, I'll have to do a video on it, and because I can sit here and say anything to you, couldn't I? I could say maxed out everything, got 7 minutes and a mile and a half. The guys down, what was it, Jeremy Lynch, the guys down at Libsyn said I'm the best recruit they've ever seen. Like when he said he was like the best that Arsene Wenger had at the club or whatever. But yeah, let me do a video on it, because I can sit here and say like back in the day I was amazing, and you know, but ultimately you should be judged by where you're at right now. So I will do a Rmfa video, max press ups, max sit ups and max pull ups. Do Royal Marines still get deployed? Let me write that down. Boom. Right, do Royal Marines still get deployed nowadays or go on real ops? Yeah, there's been no ops since Herrick 18, I think, for the Royal Marines. Bit of a lull period. Obviously missed out the evacuation of Afghan. Not that was a Gucci op, that was a crap op. But yeah, there's nothing going on at the moment, I don't think, for ops wise. Are you still in contact with some of your Royal Marines buddies? Yeah, so probably 2 lads still in really good contact with, others just as and when, like, but we all obviously, most of us are married, kids, everything else, so sort of, you don't lose touch ultimately, but you just, that day-to-day contact sort of goes out the window. And then I actually train with 2 Royal Marines as well, and then obviously within my company I employ Royal Marine lads to come and be instructors on the weekends and stuff. What's your view on the French Foreign Legion? I don't know too much about it. I think it's very intense, and obviously in a foreign language, anything's really tough. I'd say if you can't get into the British military for whatever reason, maybe criminal record and that, I'd definitely go for it. Or if you just want to go rogue, then go for it, yeah. Would you say join the reserves is a good idea for someone that is unsure whether it's full-time regular? Yeah, 100%, because you can always transfer later. What's your opinion on females in the Royal Marines? I want to give you an honest opinion rather than just giving you the textbook opinion. I think it causes a lot of issues in terms of accommodation. Obviously, if you look at the US Marines, if you look into some of the troubles there that they have between the integration of males and females, I think what it brings is that right now there's no bragging, there's no egos in the Marines because it's only lads, there's no one to impress. When you start bringing girls in, lads get a bit, you know, trying to be the alpha and stuff like that, so that causes issues. However, I would never want to, like, if a girl wants to join the Royal Marines and test herself to her limits like I've been allowed to do, I haven't got an issue with that. I think what I would rather see was that maybe they had like their own sort of regiment, like their own female regiment, that men weren't allowed to join, with equally good standards and stuff. I think that would work really nicely, and it would give them their own identity, because ultimately girls joining are going to maybe, they're going to have a lot, it's going to be a hard struggle for the next few years, like changing the old school mentality and stuff. But to summarise that, I would say there's going to be some issues that need to be worked through, but if a female can do it and they can do it to the same abilities and stuff, who the heck am I to say they shouldn't do it? You know, I've been allowed to do it, so what, you know, it's not fair for me to say that someone else shouldn't be able to do it. But yeah, there's going to be some issues, like anything with change, I guess. What do you know about the new Marines Future Commando Force and their Vanguard Strike Company? Saw an advert about it. Yeah, it's still up in the air at the moment, so I don't know tons about it. I'm just waiting, because obviously you've got the sort of like media talking about it, and then you see actually what it is. So I'm still waiting for it to sort of evolve before I can have an opinion on it. I think it looks really good. It looks Gucci. The kit's cool. Obviously everyone wants a C8, but we'll just see how it unfolds and how it actually comes out. Had previous history with mild asthma, but I don't suffer anymore. Any chance I could pass the medical? Yeah, I had asthma as a kid and I got through. So I think as long as you're 5 years clear or something like that, then you're good to go. Again, case to case as well. Depends if you've had like asthma attacks and stuff. Again, check that. I'm not a medical officer, so I might have given you crap advice there, but I definitely had it as a kid, and I got through. How many rest days should I have before Pgft? Yeah, 2 or 3, mate. Just don't go completely static. Maybe on the third, 3 days out, do a round. 2 days out, just do a couple of press ups, sit-ups, burpees and stuff. And then, yeah, 1 or 2 full days of rest. I want to join as an officer. Would I have to get a degree first? Sorry, I would like to get a degree first. Would I have time? Yes, so 25 is the cut-off. So as long as you finish before that. Do Irish fit in the Royal Marines? Yeah, I've got a couple of Northern Irish lads, good friends in the Marines. Don't know about Southern Irish. I don't know if I know any. I think there's 1 or 2. Maybe I'm talking out of turn there. But if you're allowed to join, mate, 100%. Obviously, maybe a little bit of danger for you back home, because there's still people who are obviously against it. But if you can join, mate, then 100%. Yeah, video of you rejoin the PJ. Yeah, Roger, mate, I'll get on that. Would you recommend squat shoes if I can do without? I like them, just stability, and I've got poor ankle mobility. It just gives you that strong stability in your squats, puts you in a good position. But if you can do them without, then I'm jealous. And yeah, if you don't need them, if you can do it and you've got no issues with it, crack on. Why spend 100 quid on shoes when you don't need to? I want to join the Rifles, but I respect the Marines in Paris. Yeah, I work with the Rifles, good lads. Again, good lads, bad lads in any regiment. But yeah, Rifles, you know, you've got a long history and a proud history as well. What's best Royal Marines unit? There's not like best, because it's just everyone changes normally within every 2 years and stuff. They're all equally as good as each other. It's this, they're all coming from the same training, and again, lads change from units to units all the time, so there's no like difference in standard, if that makes sense. I was at FPG, Faz Lane when I first joined 4-2, went away, came back to 4-2. Yeah, did most of my time at 4-2. CPC on 20th of September. Any vital things to do before leading up to? Just put yourself in the pain cave a few times so you know what it's like, because basically all they're doing is like, can they break you? Have you got resilience? Will you quit when you get tired? Will you quit when you're wet, cold and getting shouted at? So just learn resilience through hard workouts. Do you think the UK will get involved in Ukraine-Russia conflict? Thinking about potential ops. We will see, but it will be an op like we've never seen before. But if we do get involved properly, regardless of whether you're in the military or not, you will end up going out there pretty much. Could you be a sniper with glass in the Royal Marines? Not sure on that front. You'll have to pass an eye test. Probably just, if you get through the Royal Marines eye test, then that means you're good enough to get through the sniper eye test, I imagine. If you message on Instagram, I'll let you know, because I've got a mate coming in tomorrow who's a sniper, Royal Marines sniper, so he'll probably know the gen on that. How long did you serve and what made you leave? 5 years, well, just under 5 years, and then another 8 years reserves. Left, ops had finished in Afghan, and just wanted to try some different things, risk it in Civvy Street. I thought, I'll go and risk it in Civvy Street. If it don't work out, I can rejoin. But yeah, worked really hard and got a good business out of it. Maybe I wish in hindsight I'd done another 2 years, to be honest, full time. My press ups currently sitting around 30 and pull ups at around 5. I'm 75. Is there any advice you can do to improve, or is the best way to just keep practicing, being really consistent, really diligent? Max out a couple of times a week on your press ups and pull ups. This is like really quick, short advice, and just play the long game. Where will you be if you continue to be disciplined and consistent? Where will you be in like 6 months compared to if you sort of quit or whatever? You can add some, if you go on our Instagram account, I put a post up about how to improve your press ups. There's a pull up program on our YouTube videos with a free program attached, so you can add those to your training as well. What was your favourite part of deployment? Really good question. The adrenaline of every day, stepping out the compound, going, this could be the last time I go out or walk. what's going to happen today on today's patrol, and just having to be so switched on. But I think that's the best thing about ops, in a way, but also very hard. And obviously you see a lot of things that potentially happen to your oppos and stuff like that as well. It's like a double-edged sword. Thoughts on Australians with a dual citizenship joining? Yeah, go for it, mate. We had an Aussie in our troop, good lad, diligent. I think he was like Aussie Navy before he joined, switched on lad. Would you recommend applying for the Royal Marines as an officer? And how does the role differ once training has passed out? Yeah, again, it's going to be a different role. You're going to be in leadership. You're going to be more secluded from the lads. You're going to have admin to deal with, paperwork to deal with, especially as you go through the ranks. You'll do less and less soldiering. Yeah, a great role, and I think it sets you up really nicely for Civistry. Any job you go into, you can walk into like manager roles and stuff, whereas junior ranks might struggle to do that as well. So probably good networking opportunities as well as a Royal Marines officer. But it does differ. You're going to be doing less to start with. You're not going to do less soldiering, but as you progress as an officer, you can do far less soldiering and stuff. So it's what you want to do. Do you want to be one of the lads, or do you prefer being sort of like sat back in a leadership role and sort of running stuff from that point of view? Do you cross over with Special Forces during your time in the Marines? Have I done stuff for the Marines? So lots of opportunities to like get involved in their exercises, work as like enemy detail and stuff like that. I think when you're doing like board, like LCs and like landing craft stuff, like doing like anti-piracy, there's probably more opportunities and stuff. I think I cross paths. I never did like actual like I'm on exercise with SF right now. But there is opportunities to do that as well, and then you can obviously go SFSG as well, which is Special Forces Support Group. And I was going to go on that, but I got a Herrick 14 instead. So I was at Faslane. I could have gone S Squadron, SFSG, or got Herrick, and I got Herrick, which is cool. So I got sent down to 4-2. What's a good score to have on the Bleep test prior to joining? I'd say if you can get 13 plus, then like you're loving life. Did you get to choose what unit you went for Marines? So no, I got pinged to go to Faslane to start with, and then after a couple of months I got a freak draft down to 4-2, which was my first choice. But they will, if they can put you in that unit of choice, then they will. They're not just going to see you off for the sake of it. Cool, thanks. Cheers, bro. Appreciate that, mate. What's the main injuries guys end up with, getting back trooped or leave with? I assume shin splints. Yeah, shin splints the biggest thing. I'm actually going to do a shin splints video. Let me write that down to remind myself. I've done one. If you scroll through, it's a 1 minute long video, but I'm going to do a more intense version, like a follow along version, and that will give you everything you need to know to help avoid shin splints. I'll put that up, try and get that up this week, bro. I can feel myself lagging here, guys. I've answered about 500 questions. So if we just say, I'll answer like 3 more questions because I'm starting to struggle here. And then I'll come back on next week and do another one. And you can message me on Instagram at any time. What's the mate? I'm going to Mafco tomorrow just to ask a couple of questions. But what do you know about the rules with glasses? I actually don't know the crack on glasses. Like I get asked that quite a bit, so I'll try and get some an opinion on that, or it's the correct advice. But I don't know. Sorry. Currently trying to master press ups with good form. One press up. Okay, well, everyone started at 1 press up at some point, so just be consistent and you'll be sound. Would you advise me doing weighted vest to improve or stick to body weight? If you start seeing that like you can bang out loads of body weight stuff, then start sticking a vest on, definitely. When you're in a hot place deployed, do you put a lot of sun cream on? Yeah, it's massive because you can actually think you can get fined if you get sunburnt, because now you're basically meaning that you're a casualty in a way, and you're going to hold the lads up, and you know, that can have bad side effects. So you haven't looked after yourself, you haven't maintained your body. It's like, if I don't drink or eat, I'm going to go down, and then the lads are going to be in danger. So yeah, massive. Past army assessment, but also waiting for Pgft. Still I would go, if you can, Royal Marines. I think, in my opinion, they're the best, but obviously I'm biased. Training's definitely the hardest and longest. Coldstream Guards are great as well, though. I've got a lot of respect for them. My dad was a Scots Guard. But I'd always try and go Royal Marines first, to be honest. Our officer seen as one of the lads get involved with banter. Minimal. We had a really good officer out in Afghan, very good lad. But no, it's going to be borderline. They can't get too heavily involved because obviously they're like leading, so to speak. So yeah, you're going to be sort of like on the fringe. No problem, Mo. Hey, Guy, hope you're well, bro. Thank you for your advice. Very much appreciated. Have a good evening. Guys, hopefully that was helpful. There's 71 minutes of pure questions. Absolutely lagging now. Just bored of my own voice. But hopefully helpful. If you've got any questions at any time, message me on Instagram. And if you want to get on our programs as well, they're always available. 50 RM gets you 50% off the first month on the Elite program. And guys, if you want to join our weekend, which is in October, we've got 4 Royal Marines instructors, and we basically prep you and get you ready for the Royal Marines. And not only that, we go into the depths of like your mindset of like weaknesses. What do you need to improve on? Are you ready for the Royal Marines? And we'll basically give you a report at the end of the weekend on the things that we think you're good at, things you need work on, and the potential you have, and things like that. So it's going to be really beneficial, guys. You can check that out on completecommando.com. And if you're interested, we'd love to see you in October. Cool, guys. Have a great day, and speak to you soon. Remember to train hard as well.